Hello, hello, hello. I hope you guys can hear me and welcome to the live. Oh, it seems like it's been a while since I have done a live, but we are down here to talk about this past week's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and we're going to get right into it after a few pleasantries. I want to thank everybody for joining the live. Please, please, please comment, like, share, subscribe to this channel. I am a small channel, but I am growing, and I would love to have you be a part of this channel. I would definitely love that. And welcome to Lady Rose Queendom, where we nurture, cultivate, and awaken your inner queen. Fair use disclaimer. Hey, Brown Girls Rock. Excuse me. Some material in this video is used under U.S. Copyright Fair Use Section 107 for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. Right now, we're just going to do a whole lot of commentary and some criticism. Child, this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville was a mess. I don't know what you guys thought of it, but when I tell you it was a mess, it was absolutely a mess. I don't even know if I did taking notes. I don't know if I did it justice because there was so much going on. It was so much going on that it was irritating me. It was irritating me to keep the notes, to do the notes, to listen to the stuff. It was just a lot. It was just a lot. It was a lot for me to digest, ingest, take in. I don't know. It was just a lot. Remember, all views expressed in this live, they are all alleged. They're all, in my opinion, and they're all for entertainment purposes. Don't go out your way to dislike anybody that we talk about. We just gonna be over here talking for a little bit. Good evening, living for me. We ready to talk about this mess. LOL. Please come in, comment, like, share, and subscribe. Please do all the things. Hey, Lady B. Hello, Lady Romod. Mods in chat. Thanks for coming in, Lady B. I appreciate you guys. Again, this episode, it was a lot to deal with. It was a lot to break down, a lot to deal with. Last week I gave you my honest opinion of Symmetry. Thank you for that super chat. Well, look at you. Good evening, Lady Rowan chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on in here and giving me my first ever super chat. Look at there, look at there, look at there. Some of y'all didn't know that I got monetized. But thank you so much, Symmetry. Somebody's paying attention. Anyway, this episode was a lot, like I said. Last week I gave you guys right, girl, we got cash. We got cash. Last week I gave you my very honest opinion of how I felt the episode went. This week I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Thank you, living for me. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion again. I'm gonna try to be as honest and as open as I can. You guys, my husband, child, he think he be at the club when he come home from work. He got a speaker. His back porch, y'all, is late like a man cave for real, with the big TV and all the things. And baby, he be back there with his club style speakers like he's in a club. So I have my AirPods in because this room sits directly over his patio. And well, not over because his patio is off to it, but child, you get the point. And so I hope you guys can hear me and not the music. You said, man, where your host at? What are you talking about? Where your host at? I am the host. I don't know. What are you talking about? I am the host of Lady Rose. I don't know. But I am Lady Rose. So I don't know where the host at. You mean Butterfly? I sent her the link, child, and I put the link. The link is down there in case somebody else wants to come up and chit chat. I don't mind. She did tell me that. Okay. I know she told you too, but she told me that. So I don't know where Butterfly is, but hopefully she'll come on in here because we're going to be down here for a couple of minutes talking about this bull swanky panky. Girl, it was a mess. Anyway, let's get into it. Love and Marriage Huntsville. This was season 11, episode 10. Invitation to interrogation. First, before we get into that, I want to say a big congratulations to Love and Marriage Huntsville. The OWN Network has greenlit season 12 for 30 episodes. Congratulations, Love and Marriage Huntsville. You continuously bring in the money for OWN Network, and they are showing their appreciation by greenlighting you for another season. So, congratulations to the cast and the production of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Carlos King is really at OWN Network putting out the reality TV shows that he thinks that we enjoy. I think there could be some tweaking, but for the most part, he's really giving us what he thinks we enjoy. So moving forward, Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 11, episode 10, Invitation to Interrogation. The episode opens up with Martell and Chris meeting. They're meeting up at a restaurant to talk. And Chris tells Martell that he and Marceau had a meetup, right? And that Marceau wanted to know why he wasn't the first to know the status of Fletcher's real estate license. And Martell starts laughing. He goes, why? And Chris said, exactly, why? Chris then told Martell that he told Marceau, who the F are you? And Marceau responded with, well, Fletch, we were doing business together. And Martell said, what? What were y'all doing? Because, Chad, I didn't think y'all was doing anything. And Chris said he asked Marceau, I'm sorry, Chris said nothing. We ain't doing nothing together. And Chris said he and Marceau had a sit down about 2 years ago, I guess, to discuss some business, but apparently they didn't get into the business and they kept on pushing. So Chris said he asked Marceau, did he come to him and tell him when he was being sued? Chris said he had to stop Marceau because Marceau was getting ready to give him one of his long dissertation and thesis. And he said he had to stop him. He said, because you know how he is once he gets started. And Martell says, don't let him talk. Him or Maurice. Because once they start talking, you have to stop him right at the button. You have to tear that ass up from the beginning, is what Martell said. Marcel is all up in your business. How many projects has he completed? Here we go with this Marcel not completing projects. Chris and Marcel said one time, Marcel said one time that he completes the projects that only matter to him. And Chris said, well, Black is finished. And Martell responded with, is it? Child. I was like, okay. They done had their little meetup and they roasting Marceau at the meetup. Martell says he was just on Jordan Lane and he passed by the building and that they have just started doing work on it again. He said the building is about 500 square feet. And Chris responded with, is it? Martell said he's glad to see Chris stand up for himself. Chris then tells Martell that he's still working on Posh and Prissy for Neil. Martell said, is this your idea or is it her idea? Chris said Nell has been on him about finding her at brick and mortar for a while. Martell asked if Nell had been selling clothes online or selling things online. And Chris said more like from the trunk of her car. And this is what this sounds like to me. This sounds like a bunch of bullshit. Sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry. It just sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. It may not sound like that to you guys, but that's what it sounds like to me. How do you just open up a boutique and you say that you have no experience, you run a daycare? You don't have no online experience. You just been selling stuff out the trunk of your car. Who saw it? Who bought it? Chat. Anyway, because she really don't give me fashions. I will say that Martell said, y'all have your hands busy. You got the grandbabies, the daycare, the children, and her father now lives with you. All the while, Chris said his hands are, all the while Martell's talking, Chris' hands are moving like a violin. Martell tells Chris, you are about to run ragged, man. Martell said he thought that it would have been a clothing store for Chris because they had spoken about him opening a men's boutique. Martell said he was shocked that Chris will be putting Nell ahead of him. But that is typical of what men do. Martell's full of bullshit again. That sounds like what? Say it with me. That sounds like bullshit to me. That's what that does. That sounds like bullshit to me, Martell, because I don't know a man on earth who puts his needs, puts another person's needs above his own. Child, If it is, that means he got something in store for himself in the long run. Living for me said she would be better hanging some up in the window of the daycare. That if that's the case, I would think so. Or make a little room in the daycare so when the mamas come pick up their babies, they can slide on up in the little room and buy some of your products. I don't know, child. What you gonna sell in this posh and prissy? Girl, what you fit to sell us? Because that building that Chris showed, it was awfully big. Now, what you fit to sell us, girl? And it was you ain't sell it to me, no way. You gonna sell it to those people. And yeah, that's right. It's the boo lang lang. You know what? I should have used that word, but I want Butterfly saying I've been stealing her words and her lingo. So I went over and pulled my own lingo out, baby. That sounds like bullshit to me. That's what it sounds like. Anyway, y'all, moving forward. Um, Martell said that he thought they would extend the daycare, which makes sense, instead of perhaps getting another building, extend the daycare, and maybe add on to that. He then mentions how Nell said that Fletcher was on her payroll, and Chris started laughing. I'm gonna tell you what I truly believe. When Martell started talking about Nell, I believe Chris sat back and was like, I'm not fit to engage in this bull swanking with this boy. And he ain't gonna mess up my marriage like he messed up his. I'm gonna laugh a little bit, I'm gonna giggle a little bit, but not know how far to go. And I believe that's why Chris was laughing. Martell is stroking Chris's ego, is what I put in my notes. Martell said Nell and Chris started at zero together. Chris said he bought the daycare. I'm the one to put the money down on the daycare. But, it feels like Nell would acknowledge me, every now and then. But, child, she don't do that either, is what Chris said. Chris then tells Martell about Twan and Kayla and this rumor about them dating. Martell asked if it was true. And Chris said, I guess yes, honey, because she'd have come down here to the house and confirmed it. Martell said, well, at least they ain't blood. At least they ain't kin folks. Martell said he's a good dude, though. He's a good dude. So I think, you she'll be okay. And then Chris said, wait a minute. He's already been divorced. He got 2 kids, and I believe one of them is a teenager. He said, Kayla ain't never been married before. She has no kids. Martell says he needs to go get with a woman he needs to go get with a woman that he shares similarities with, and Destiny would be a good one. Now, why he threw Destiny up under the bus? Now, why did Martell decide that he needed to just go ahead and sling Destiny up under the bus is beyond me, but he slung up under the bus. So I want y'all to watch the Destiny slinging that goes on this show. So now we don't have, this is one Destiny sling. Destiny mind her business. How she get it? In the words of Nene Leaks. How did I get it? I was minding my business. Anyway, Chris said, you talk to her all the time. Why didn't that happen? And Martell says he didn't know, but he keeps telling her that she ain't in her 20s anymore, baby. You need to go on back to your life and get with you a man. Martell has this such a misogyny in his head that he believes that women should just settle for anything. Child, Martell is a joke. Well, they said 911 is a joke. Martell is a joke in your town. Get down. Baby, I don't know why, but hey, all the Unity, thanks for coming to the live. I really, really appreciate that. I really, really do. Where we at? Next week, see Sharon and Tisha working out, girl. Boring, boo. Tomatoes. Anyway, Tisha asked Sharon about the drag brunch, and Tisha asked Sharon, how she thought she fit in with the girls. How do you fit in with the girls? Even though I think Trisha's whack, but Chad, that's just neither here nor there. Sharon said she honestly enjoyed all of them. Sharon said she thinks Tisha and Destiny should just let it go. They should let their relationship, their friendship, they should just let it go because they're toxic. Trisha said, excuse me. Trisha said she was laughing when Nell came back in and started eating her food. Now, Trisha, you may have been laughing, but that was rude of Nell. And now we done threw Destiny a bone again. Destiny back up under that bus. I was trying to help her get out, but they done threw Destiny right back up on the bus. They talk about it being rumored that Destiny was messing around with Martell. And Sharon said, that is what the streets are saying. Sharon, who are the streets? Maybe are you the streets? Now Destiny, girl, I was trying to get Destiny feet out again, and they done slammed her right back up on their bus. See how often they throw Destiny up under the bus? Just random conversations. Destiny gets thrown up under the bus. Live for me said, I didn't know that they were making room for anyone else. So why should that matter? I'm just saying, child, I agree with you 100%. Why should it matter? Anywho, girl, let's keep on going. Sharon said that Martell and Destiny do have chemistry. Girl, how would you know what they got? Girl, how would you know what they? Girl, just be quiet. Just be your funny looking for big forehead tail quiet. Just be quiet. Because how would you know what they have? These two people have built a bond based upon her trauma and possibly his trauma. Girl, I don't know. But we do know that Martell had to show up with a little blinky for Destiny at one point during the relationship. So we don't, we ain't go there. Sharon, be quiet. All right? Be quiet, Sharon. Don't you say another word. Sharon then mentions that the Scots 1, she said Scots 1 and 2, not 1.0, not 2.0, but Scots 1 and 2 are real interested in Tisha and Ken's relationship. Tisha said that she and Ken have decided to work on their relationship and no more spinning the block. Sharon asked Tisha if Ken knew about her spinning the block. And Sharon tells Tisha that is going to be hard. I agree. Men do. They do it all the time. But they don't want it done back to them, child. So, Tisha, girl, you ain't never going to have no peace in your house. Just like, trust me. You're not going to have no peace, sister. You should have gone let that boy go on about his business. Because, honey, he going to remind you of old boy, whoever this was you spent the block with. He going to remind you of him every single day of the week. Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. He going to remind you of whoever this was. Sharon said that that trust thing is going to be something serious. Sharon also said that was coward of Tisha to tell Ken over the phone. Tisha said that she's and Ken are better off together. Child, I don't know about none of that. It sounds kind of whack to me. Both of y'all sound kind of whack because I don't care. Next, we see Destiny, Nell, and Martell meeting up at the booming Korean barbecue spot. And if you ever been to one of those Korean barbecue spots where you grill the food in front of you, they bring you the different meats, and then they bring you a bunch of sides, but you grill the food so you can get it to your perfection. Hot. I mean, as hot as you want, cold as you want, or whatever, raw or whatever. They bring it to you. So that's where they're at, and they are celebrating Destiny. She had just, I believe, closed on a house that day. Nell invited Destiny to the Fletcher family dinner. Why? Why did you invite her? What's the reason that you need Destiny at a Fletcher dinner, family dinner? Girl, when I say I'm fit to eat Neil up, Neil, give him one of these chairs that live for me, done brought up here. Neil, you gonna sit your rump in one of them, because baby, I'm fit to eat you alive. You have a lot of nerve, Neil. A lot of nerves. Anyway, next we see Martell arrive. He sits down with the ladies. Destiny said that Martell's buttons were, well, I'm sorry. Nell said the Martell's buttons were screaming, and Destiny agreed with her. And Martell said, if the buttons ain't screaming, something is wrong. Baby, them buttons, they weren't just screaming. They was about to break loose. They was about to set themselves free, baby, from you. Anyway, Destiny proposed a toast to her closing, and Martell said, well, it could have been mine. So why wasn't it, Big Marty? Marty Mar, why wasn't, I want you to get one of these seats, one of these chairs that live for me brought down, Marty Mar, you sit in it, because right now you in the hot seat. So why wasn't it, Marty Mar? Why did Destiny could handle two closes at one time? So why did you give Destiny that close? Because Destiny said, boy, stop playing with me. So that let me know that you was the one playing. That's what that lets me know. That lets me know you were the one. Brown Girls Rock, you right. Messy and a storyline. That's it. Lets me know you was the one playing. Martell responds, well, he gave it to Chris first, but after his situation, he passed it over to Destiny, and she said she was too busy. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I do not. I do not believe that. I believe that this sounds like bullshit to me. That's what that does. It sounds like bullshit to me. Anyway, Nell said that Fletcher didn't even tell her that he had effed up the license. Did anybody hear that part? She said and Destiny said no. She stopped her, but baby Nell was about to tell the story. She said I didn't even know that Fletcher had effed up the lights. Now she told us a few episodes ago. She told Tisha that she was the one that went to the mailbox, and she was the one that opened up. She was the one that was served, and she found girl. That's some more bullshit to me. This sounds like some more bullshit to me. Yeah, I hope you're in one of them seats, girl. So I might have to flip you over on top of your head. Anyway, um, Nell said, you see what happens when you have revoked license? You see what happens when you have a revoked license? And you know what got me was that she had that slip up but the camera caught it. She had to slip up, the camera caught it, and then she tried to soothe it over with Destiny, but Destiny saved her tail. Destiny, you're going to learn to stop saving these people because they don't mind throwing you under the bus, Destiny. Gotta pull you up on the bus from up under the bus 4 times. And we're not even halfway through this episode. Destiny, stop trying to save them. Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. Move right along. Nell said she didn't do anything. She is just the one that just has to fix it. Martell said that is what happens in marriages. Martell then goes on to say that Neil discredits Chris for the things that he does around the house and at the daycare. Martell then says that he knows that Chris does all of that and that it's okay for Neil to let him know that she appreciates him. The rest of this conversation is irrelevant because I don't really give a damn. Anyway, Nell said she did not establish a daycare alone and that Chris did put money into the daycare. Nell said that Chris saved her ass before, and she said he also complained about it. Anyway, Martell said, they have y'all talked to the Scotts lately? So now they've gone from, throwing Destiny up on the bus. We're going to throw some other people in the bus. So Martell mentions that Destiny told him that her and Tisha got into it. And Nell said that they both showed their asses. That's her exact words. They both showed their asses. Nell said that Tisha was about to run at Destiny, and Kimmy grabbed her arm. They replayed last week's episode, and Nell responds with, yes, she was coming for you. And Destiny said, girl, I walked right by her. I walked right by her. She had opportunity to do that, and she didn't do it. Baby, you had opportunity to jump, and you didn't jump, is what Destiny was saying. Destiny said, I am still Detroit Destiny. Don't get it twisted. Nell said, you mentioned that her husband doesn't defend her. And Destiny reinforced that Tisha said to Destiny, you don't defend me. And she responded, Tisha, that the only person she has ever seen not defend Tisha is her husband. And I said, baby, that's fair. That's fair conversation. Now, you want to say I don't defend you, but I defend you. Kimmy defends you. Dodo defends you. Glue, Click. The only person we see not defending you is Marcel. That's fair, ain't it? Ain't that fair? This guy that you sleep with every night, we talked about that in last week's episode. The guy that you sleep with every night, this the dude not defending you. It's him. The dude right behind you, rubbing your shoulders. He's the only one not defending you. And it's not fair to put other people in his position when it's his job to protect you. Remember? Love, honor, cherish, protect. All those things you say when you get married. Now, maybe he didn't say those vows. I don't know. But moving right along. That's what we're gonna do. Tisha said, Nell said, you know how she feels about her husband. And Destiny said, I know how I feel about me. That's right, Destiny. Because at some point, you've got to start taking care of you. Destiny, now, I done pulled you from up under the bus 4 times. So far this episode. Sharon and Tisha, who don't have room to talk about nobody. threw you under the bus, and then you was thrown under the bus with your boy Martell and Chris Fletcher, baby. They just been chunking you up. You just been catching it. I don't know why they do that to you, but they really be throwing you under the bus. Tisha has been talking about her, discrediting her, and placing the whole label on her. Chris Martell said that she put you in a whole box. Now this your homeboy, girl. You should have checked him too. Sit down, Martell. Get one of them chairs over there, honey. Destiny told Martell to shut up because he is the root of all of this. He's the reason for the argument. He's the reason why they fell out in the first place. It's all of Martell's fault, is what she said. And Martell responded with, Destiny said she didn't know Martell was going to say any of the stuff that he said when they were at the picnic. And Martell responds with, I didn't know I was going to say it either. So that same position you're trying to stay Tisha in, maybe you should fit in it as well, Martell, the dumb jock position. Maybe you should get in that box over there and sit in there just like you trying to petition one. Anyway, moving right along. Destiny said, like the situation with Neil, Tisha wanted Destiny to be mad at Neil. Now they have made up. What if Destiny had placed herself in the middle of that mess? What if she had done that? Just think about that. You know, friends do that all the time. Me and my friend, we having a disagreement. One friend takes a side. Now she mad at the other friend, and me and that friend, we done made up. And now we got this other friend who's mad because she jumped in the middle of it. You got to learn how to keep your friends out of your business. That way your friends can remain your friends. You can fight with others and keep your friends out of it. Let me go in my closet and get the folding chairs because we're running out. Yeah, you might need to get some more, honey. We might need to call Walmart and see how many they got on the shelf because we need some. We're going to need some chairs this episode. Destiny, I'm sorry. Destiny's Martell said, moving forward, if they're going to be friends, then be friends. I don't know why he was even talking. I think he just wanted to hear himself saying something because he wasn't making no sense at all. Excuse me. He said if they're going to be foes, then be foes. Child. Anyway, Martell, move on that. Get on that the way. Destiny said that she has told people on multiple occasions that Tisha isn't stupid when they have called her that. Martell responds, it says, yeah, don't be lying like, wait a minute, he responds with, don't be lying like that. Neil said, don't be doing that. And Destiny responds with, doing what? Neil said, that is hidden below the belt. And Martell said, no, she's accurate. People do call her a dodo bat. I'm sorry. And Destiny said, no, that is your words. Neil agrees with Destiny. Destiny said no one outside of her ex in Huntsville can say that they have ever had her. Neil said the relationship with Tisha and Destiny is toxic. And at this point, I kind of agree. Martell asked Destiny if she was going to apologize. Baby, Destiny said, no. Apologize for what? Apologize to who? Apologize where? No, sir. You apologize because I ain't did nothing wrong. You the one said she was in the back of a Buick. You owe her an apology, but she ain't gonna sit down with you because she want this guy who doesn't have her back to protect her. Because he should have checked. She had checked you and made you apologize, but he didn't do any of those things. Anyway, moving forward. Next, we're at the Fletchers, and all the Fletcher children are here. Now, this is where it get real stupid, and I kind of dozed off a minute and came back to myself and was like, oh, I got to finish these notes because this was so idiotic. It was hard to pay attention to it because it's just unrealistic. It really, really, I'm telling you, this is one of the most unrealistic things I have seen in reality TV in a very long time. Producers, come get in one of these seats. You come get some of these. I don't know how many y'all it is, but here's 5 chairs, 6 of them. Sit in one of them chairs. Sit in one of the chairs. All of you have a seat because y'all done did way too much. Y'all done did way too much with this scene right. This scene should have never left the editing table. It shouldn't have. This scene was so stupid. Oh my God, it was so stupid with 2 O's. STOOPID. It was so stupid. It should have never left the editing table. It was horrible. And it was hard to watch. And I don't understand why they even made this a part of this episode. But we fist to get into it. You said it was crazy. It was crazy. It was weird as F. It was. It was all of those things. But we fist to talk about it. They wanted to put it out here for us to talk about it. Let me see how many pages I got just on that part of the episode. I got 4 pages that I typed out just on that. Just on that stupidity alone. But we're going to talk about it. Next, we're at the Fletchers, and all the Fletcher children are here. Here comes the bullshit. Here comes the bullshit. It's coming. We got those chairs ready living for me. We're going to need some more chairs. Anyway, Nell wants to get to the bottom of who is dating Twan. Girl, if you don't mind your business and worry about what the Lord put between your legs and not Twan's, girl, are you okay? Anyway, Kayla walks in with her chest all out, clear signs of a young woman who is giving it up. I'm going to be honest with you, Nell. You and Chris, honey, you do not have a daughter before you that is clearly a virgin anymore. I'm sorry. I believe it. Allegedly. All things are alleged. They're all in my opinion. But child, we've been seeing Kayla with t-shirts on and other outfits where she came in there this episode with a catsuit on and all her chesticles out. All of it giving the world a good view. All signs of I'm dating an older man and baby, we is knocking it out the park. I'm telling you. Ain't telling you what I heard. Tell you what I know. Allegedly, all that's alleged, honey. You'll never be able to chase it down. Ain't none of it true. It's all alleged. Anyway, Kiki asked if it was just for them, if this meeting was just for them, and Nell starts laughing. Now I don't know about anybody else, but I found that laugh to be very odd, very weird, very strange, and annoying. It was just very different. This laugh was. We see Twan just walks in these people home. He ain't knocked on nobody's door. He just turns the doorknob and comes right in. Chad, I think that is one of the weirdest things. But we do know that he been outside getting mic'd up so he could come up in this house. But baby, you should have knocked on that door, run that doorbell, made it look a little realistic. But because you just walk right in, child, I know you ain't walking in the people's house, not the way Neil act. You ain't just walking up in the people's house. But let's keep on moving. Anyway, Kiki said, "Oh, I see what's going on here." And we see Kayla visibly nervous when Twan comes in. Neil said, with Twan dating Kayla, it's very uncomfortable because she likes him. She looks at him like a son. Girl, yeah, the son that you met a year ago. Girl, if you don't get out of our face with this mess, because that sounds like bullshit to me. That's what that sounds like. I don't know if anybody else thought this, but that's what it sounds like. Bullshit to me. Anyway, moving right along. Next, we see Destiny coming in. Oh, now why are all these people standing around this kitchen counter is what I put in my notes. They have a whole dining room table, but they all stand around a dining room countertop around the island, and someone says, "Oh, we just took shots." And Destiny said, "Honey, no shot for me. I'm not having no shot." Destiny had already told her when she came through the door that she had just came from a funeral. No shots for me. But we see Kayla guy looks like a lemon drop, baby. She got it turned upside down. She is tearing it up. We see the rest of them with shot glasses, so they have clearly had a shot. Anyway, I said, baby, this is a total failure of a mess, is what I put in my notes. Destiny's in the confessional. She said, "What in the hell did I just walk into?" Baby, I want to know that too, because this was the dumbest episode. Well, I can say episode. This is the dumbest scene in this episode that I've ever seen in my life. It was straight out of the Three Stooges comic book. Out of Archie comic book, rather, but Three Stooges television, baby. Charlie Chaplin, all the things that the comedians do. This is what it was. Brown Girls Rock said it was a setup that fell flat. It fell on top of his eyeball. You said it was a scheme this high setup, baby. It was horrible. Anyway, they taking these shots, and Destiny's in the confessional. She asks what the hell she done walked into. We see Destiny bump into Kayla with a full smile on her face as though to say, hey, girl, looking good. But we see Kayla is messy, just like her mammy. Just like her mammy, she's messy. Because she gonna later bring in this bull swanky, and we gonna, girl, when she come here with this mess, you already know what we gonna say. You already know. She said they enjoy playing the Destiny's face, and I don't like it. Me either. I've been pulling Destiny from up under the bus ever since the episode started. Come on, Destiny. Come over here with me. It's safe. Destiny, please stop letting these people play in your face because they all special needs, allegedly. Stop letting these people play in your face, Destiny. Please, darling. Anyway, Destiny said it was interesting to see Twan there because she's never seen him at previous family gatherings. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Destiny said it was interesting to see Twan there because she has never seen him at any previous family gatherings. But this the gossip. Anywho, moving on. Twan's there because baby, he getting ready to get grilled just like they fist to grill you. Twan, I don't know if he gonna get thrown in the bus, but here's what I will tell you what Twan did. He set them all straight. Twan let him know what the real deal Holyfield was. He let him know what the relationship between him and Kayla was. And baby, he almost painted it for Chris. I don't know if Chris could read between all the lines, but I read all in between the lines. I read all the squiggly lines. I read the flat lines. I read all of them. And I believe that Twan made his stance and he told the daddy exactly what his stance was. But we're going to talk about that too when we get to that part. Anyway, Destiny asked Chris and Nell why she was invited to their family gathering. And Chris said he was a little baffled about the last time she and Lance were over at the house when the rumor that was going on. Child, I don't know if Nell set Chris up, but he seemed very uncomfortable with this conversation. But he went right along with it. I don't know if it's because he ain't got no, he done lost his real estate license. I don't know. But he didn't step out and say, I'm not going to be a part of this bull swanky. He sat right there and went along with this bullshit, just like his throwed off wife. He sat right there and went right along with it. She said, live with me exactly. Excuse me, I get a cough. Chris asked Destiny if she and Twan were dating. And you know what I wanted to ask Chris? Are you okay? Ninja, is you cool? Ninja, do you have good sense? Live for me, we need some more chairs. Ninja, you got to be a fool. Ninja, did your mama raise you? Because if she raised you, you would have enough sense to know that you don't have no right to come to a woman over the age of 40 and ask her who she's dating. You ask him if you want to know something, but coming to me, you coming to the. But Destiny, again, then let these people play on her top, sitting there letting this man, and she answered that question because ain't no way I would have answered that question, child. Ain't no way. Anyway, Destiny takes a pause, deep breath, and a long pause, and she says, I'm confused. I don't understand how that is relevant to this conversation. I loved her response, but sure, I wish you could have gave him something a little bit more gut punching than that. You see, I'm pulling them out of the closet right now. Okay, thank you, Liv, for me, because we might have to use these chairs and hit some of these Fletchers over the top of their head, baby. Anyway, Nell, her dumb ass chimes in and says, Kayla is my daughter, and you being my friend, I want to know uh who who let's pump some brakes here. And I just want to know, what's going on between, the timeline situation. Now you sound dumb. Girl, you sound, do I say dumb? You sound beyond dumb. You sound dumb. You sound stupid. STOOPID. That's where you're stupid. That's what you sound. Twan has Destiny here and Kayla here, is what Neil said. Girl, you got them people there. You think Twan wanted you to have those two people in the same places? He done already talked to Destiny. They had their own conversation. And baby, whatever him and Kayla got going on, we don't even care about it. But girl, moving right along. Anyway, I said, no, ma'am, you have Destiny and Kayla here. Nobody else did that but you, Nell. But you think everybody's stupid but you. We see all the way through you. We see what you got going on in your life. And baby, there ain't a whole lot of nothing. At least nothing that you bothered to tell us about. Chris, with his silly self, said that he is trying to make sure that there's no overlapping. Boy, if you don't shut your ass up, you sound retarded. You sound special. You sound like you lick on the bus windows. What are you talking about? Like, why is your license revoked? Let's talk about that. Why is your license revoked? Why is it that these people took your real estate license and your broker license? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why in the world you can't sell any more houses. Let's talk about why you have to wait at least a year. Let's talk about those things. Explain some stuff to us. That's what you can do instead of being worried about Destiny and Twan. Oh, child. When I say they burned me up listening to this mess, they burned me. When I say chapped my hide, they did all that. Twan was ready to go to work, child. He probably got women at work too. Girl, the way Twan was talking, I ain't telling where Twan got the women. Girl, they may have been sitting in the car. You hear me? Anywho, child. Nell said there is no animosity here. And then Chris pops out with, when was the last time you talked to Twan? Bitches, you cool? Ain't no way you cool and just came out your pocket with that on me. Ain't cool. No. When was the last time you talked to Twan? Flag on the play. Foul. Baby, you have really messed up with this one. You really, really messed up. Then in the kitchen, Twan is saying the last time he talked to Destiny was over lunch, and they talked. They talked about what was going on in their lives, kind of putting some endings to some things. And then we see Twan, he talks about he still didn't mind being her bodyguard if she needed a bodyguard, so on and so forth. You said Brown Girls Rock said Lance got on my nerves, so he got a chair coming too. I told you we might have to hit some of these Fletchers over the top of their heads, baby. They was doing way too much, baby. When I say way too much. Kayla says she ain't gonna date Twan if he's still talking to Destiny. Honey, Twan cleared that up real quick. Do you hear me? He cleared that up so quick, it was better than dumb paper towels on the spill, baby. He said, baby, I'm dating multiple people. We just chilling. Me and you, we in the thing. We ain't no chicken wings. Okay. We just hanging out. We chilling. That's it. Baby, you are a friend you're in the friends with benefits category, Kayla. I'm telling you, this boy just sat right here and said that y'all ain't dating. Y'all not dating. You just said, I'm not gonna be dating Twan if he's seeing that. Girls, you okay. I think every one of the Fletchers, they elevator don't go to the top. They took too many shots in this kitchen. And I hope Twan wasn't taking shots if he was going to work. Anywho, he told Kayla if he sees her out on a date for any reason, he's not going to question it. If I see you out with your dude or another man, hey, girl, I'm going to keep on walking. I said, baby, you are a toy thing to this boy. Kayla, are you listening to me? Twan literally just told you that you just a toy. You just something to play around with, allegedly, until he feel like moving on to the next one. We just friends. I ain't making no deals with you. I ain't making no commitment with you. We just friends. Kayla said, we ain't chilling. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but I had the captions on so I could take these good old notes. And she said, baby, we ain't chilling. We ain't chilling. So that means, baby, she about to cut you off. It ain't nothing to cut that off. You know what I'm saying? Destiny had too much patience for me. I would have walked out of the house as soon as I got there. Me too. Because she didn't even get anything to eat. She walked through that kitchen. They took her in there and sat on the couch and started running that. Girl, when I say I would have grabbed my bag and scurried on out that door, that's exactly what would have happened. Anyway, Nell said she wanted to invite everybody over to see what was really going on. And Destiny says she's a bystander in a rumor that has absolutely nothing to do with her. In the kitchen, they taking us from the living room back to the kitchen. In the kitchen, we see um in the kitchen we see that Kayla said that Destiny bumped into her. Now, I already said that Kayla just like her mama, and she messy, baby. She said Destiny bumped into me, and old dumbass Lynn said that the bump, as she was leaving, leaving out the door, she bumped into her, and then leaving and going wherever she was going was an issue. I said, baby, this entire mess is an issue. It's the issue. Production, sit y'all tail in them chairs because y'all about to get hit over the top of y'all heads like over that ship in Alabama. The people that was riding that cruise ship. Y'all about to get busted upside the head with this. This don't make no sense. This is an entire mess. Destiny told Nell and Chris that Twan was not her partner and that she has no problem with Kayla and Twan having a relationship. Back in the kitchen, we go again. Kayla said her parents came to her with this dumb mess, and she wanted to know how they found out. And I said, why don't you ask that sneaky link that's next to you, Mr. Twan? Ask him how they found out. Ask Twan, was he the one that started this so-called rumor? Maybe he wanted Destiny to know that he was screwing around with you. I don't know, girl, but it sounds very suspect. Twan said the conversation was great, but he had to go to work. And he, on his way out, Chris asked Twan if they could talk. I said, Chris, you sound even more. I mean, the stupid stuff just keep coming. It just, when I said this last part of this episode was just an abundance of stupidity, just an abundance of just straight stupidity. I'm sorry, it just was. Chris said he felt disappointed because he didn't know, man to man. And I said, boy, he ain't trying to marry your girl. He not trying to marry your daughter. He wanted to hear, see what it was like. He done did that. Now he about to move on. Twan said he wanted to tell him, but he didn't know how to tell Chris that he was at his stop. His daughter were having casual dating time. Twan, go on and tell Chris. Go on, because maybe you might catch that right hook when you say, I didn't know how to tell you I was banging at your daughter back, allegedly. You should have gone and said it so you could have caught that right hook across your chin. Because, baby, that's what you deserve while you over trying to be a manipulator. Because that's what you was doing. We're going to be honest about it. You done manipulated this girl. You ain't manipulated Destiny because Destiny ain't going to let you do it. But you manipulated Kayla. And you deserve a chin check for that, allegedly. Allegedly. You said Twan actually told his own girl, told every bit of it. And I don't know if Chris was reading between the lines, but I read all of the lines. Live with me, I did not like how they did Destiny. That was a bummer situation to me. It was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah, it was hard. When I say it upset me so bad, it upset me really bad to even watch this. And I put in quotations, baby. He means that they are having X. That's what he meant, Chris. I don't know if you a man. You probably read between them lines too. That's why you had your head down. I know you understood what old Twan was talking about. Twan said he didn't know how to tell you that he and your daughter was having some casual fun time here, there, and a little bit of everywhere. Anyway, Twan said they be vibing in the club, but they're both still very single, and he don't want to hurt anyone anymore. Chris said Twan's response was off track. I said, you know why? Because he done hit it and quit it, baby. He done. He done did what he had to do. Y'all, let me get a swallow of water. Twan done did what he set out to do. He's divide and conquer, baby. He done conquered it. He done seen. He done saw, and now he's gone. Anyway, we did see Kayla coming into the living room, and she asked Destiny, why did she bump into her? And I said, baby, I think Kayla's drink was a little too strong. Because why in the world did that come out your mouth to Destiny? When I tell you that sounded like some what? That sounded like some bullshit to me. That's what that sounds like. That sounds like some. But anyway, Destiny got up to reassure Kayla that there was no issue. And she tells her, tells them, I have a date. I gotta go. This is enough. I said this entire scene was unnecessary. Nell is still trying to make something of Destiny and Twan, although Destiny just said that it was nothing. Then old silly butt Bruised up face Lance said, did she just say she had a date and Antoine gone? I said, baby, these people are strange. This whole family is I'm telling you, they used to ride down the street on the school bus licking the windows. So you can't tell me nothing different. Kayla sitting up there like a deer caught in headlights, and Lance act like he done solved some type of mystery. Baby, when I say a mess, this was a mess. You said Twan think he is the hottest thing. All in unity, you said it, girl. He think he the hottest thing in town. Yes, he does. He got that. Live for me said he got that from her. What he couldn't get from it. You said it. You said it, baby. It was clear as day. It was clear as day. This boy literally has told his own business to Chris. If Chris can read between lines, baby, please, me and your daughter just friends. I am still very single. She's very single. Don't get it twisted. Papa Chris is what he was saying. Don't get it twisted. And Kayla's sitting up there looking like she don't have a clue of what's going on in life because she's super young, and you got a young man that done like, baby. Twan he got a body on him. I don't know about he got. I'm not gonna talk about it. He has a body on him. And I'm sure that he's probably a hot commodity in Alabama. But child, I don't understand. I don't understand why Nell thought she needed to bring Destiny into this equation to fulfill whatever kind of issue she was having with her daughter Antoine. Baby, I don't know. You said turn and toss her from wall to wall, baby. Wall to wall. I can hear the blues song right now. Do you hear me? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He got from her what he could not get from Destiny. Destiny has made it very clear that she is celibate and that she's dating around. And I believe without a shadow of a doubt that these people still want to put her in places in bedrooms that she has not been in. I truly believe that Destiny is telling us the truth. I don't believe there is a reason to lie, but I also think it's very silly that Chris and Nell think that they have some type of leverage or some type of right to know what Destiny is doing, because Destiny is a grown woman over a certain age. There is no reason for them to have had her in their home, question her like she was a child. None whatsoever. And I didn't like none of it. I didn't like any of it. Moving right along. Next, we see Nell and Destiny at lunch. And they meet up at the Juicy Seafood Bar. And Nell greets Destiny, and Destiny says in a confessional, she said, I have a soft spot for Nell, but I probably shouldn't. I put in quotation, you probably shouldn't have one though, Destiny. Destiny, baby, I need you to toughen up. Where's Detroit Destiny at? The same one you talked about with Martell. You got to pull it out your bag because these people feel like they can run over you and play in your face. And I don't like it. I don't like it not one bit because I wouldn't want that done to anybody, period. That's too much. What they did was way too much, and they owe you an apology. And I really believe, we'll get into that as we're going through. Nell says it was a family gathering, and she wanted to know where she and Destiny stood. And I really applaud Destiny because Destiny put on her big one and she handled her business. And I think she gave Nell what she needed to give her. But I believe she's going to return to the table next week. I really do. I believe next week we're going to get her to come. She's going to walk away to calm down, and I believe she's going to come back to the table. Living for Me says after that sat down, there wouldn't be anything soft anymore. And I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Nell is from outer space, and she shouldn't. There's nothing to talk about because at the end of the day, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. At the end of the day, Nell actually involved Destiny in some mess that didn't have nothing to do with her. She really set her up for something that could have hurt Destiny in the long run. It could have been Destiny could have been in the middle of World War II, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because you have a young man in here who you're saying is sleeping around with your daughter. You don't know what kind of mind frame either of them would have been in, and you brought Destiny into a situation without her knowing the magnitude of what you were going to talk about. I think it was selfish of Neil, and I think it was very juvenile, delinquent, and all the other things I can add to it. I believe that Nell really, really, really should be called to the carpet. And I believe the fact that Nell called Destiny out to eat was because Nell knew she was wrong, but she did not want to take accountability for being wrong. So she stood in her stupid stuff at this table. Well, we're going to get into it. She's coming back to set Nell straight in a nice, nasty Detroit read. I believe so. Look for me. I believe we're going to see her next week come back to that table. Anyway, what was that? Destiny calls Kayla her sweet Kayla. And why would she said, why would I bump into Kayla with a house full of her whole family? That makes zero sense. And Nell responds with, I'm not sure. I put in quotations, is Nell okay? Does Nell need medication like Lexapro, some Remeron, some lithium? I don't know. What is Nell okay? Because Nell seems like she needs to be in a straitjacket, allegedly. I'm not sure why she would think Destiny would bump into her daughter. I'm so glad it was caught on tape. I'm so glad they got it filmed, because this really could be something they sit up at this reunion and try to rub in Destiny's face. But I'm so glad it was a bump. Hey girl, girl, you looking good in that cat suit. She should have got a zoot suit, but baby, anyway, you looking good. You looking cute. Whatever. I didn't like it. And Unity Nell was totally wrong. Definitely. Totally wrong. Live for Me says as if she was calling Destiny an undercover bully. It was ridiculous. Hey, Queen Scrib, thanks for joining. Thank you. And so Nell says she didn't see it and was shocked when she heard about it. Well, you wait till you see it on camera, you crazy heifer. Anyway, I'm glad it was filmed. I'll just say that. I'm glad it was filmed. Desi says she isn't sure if she was there for dinner, an interrogation, or a situationship reveal. It was like, let's see what Destiny is going to say. And Desi said again, that is not my man. This dude, that is not my man. I don't know what it is you think, but I've told you over and over, Twan is not my man. Desi said, I don't have a reaction to this mess, and I don't really care. Destiny then said, it felt like 10 on 20. Destiny said, for everyone in this group, she has more consideration for them than she gets in return. It is a continuous thing. And Nell responds with, Destiny, I'm not going to do that. Girl, what? Girl, what? You're not going to do what? I'm not going to. Did we miss something? Or do you really need to be in a straitjacket? Because, girl, what? I'm not. This girl is telling you that she felt like you guys bombarded her, and you're saying I'm not gonna do that. Nell said, I don't do shit like that just to be doing it. But you did it, Heifer. But you did it. And you did it to someone you said is your friend. You know how ironic that is and how crazy, juvenile, childish that is? Are you okay? Ain't no way you okay. So let me move on with that. Anyway, Desi said it is inconsiderate. And Nell said, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Ninja, who you talking to? Who you talking to, baby? Because I would have flipped that time. What did K Michelle say? Oh, she's shaking the table, baby. I would have shook the table. Do you hear me? Because it makes zero sense. Zero sense that first your response was, I'm not going to do that, as though you talking to a child. Your second response was that you wasn't going to repeat yourself. You ain't saying nothing. How is you cool? That's it. That's all. That's when I say that whole scene pissed me off. Desi said, what do you mean you're not going to repeat yourself? And Nell's wig wearing ass said, because I said it 2 or 3 times. Girl, where? Because it sure wasn't shown on this thing. It wasn't shown on the camera. It wasn't at the table. So where did you say it? In your brain, in your mind, in the car on your way over? When did you say it? Anyway, girl, Nell said, I'm going to say it one more time so we're clear. Girl, the way I would have cussed Nell out. Do you hear me? You clear about what? Clear that you were wrong. Clear that you stupid. Clear that you were immature. Clear that you are the agent of chaos amongst your own family. You gathered your children together for some mess. Shame on you. You ain't Chris Fletcher. I understand now why your children are so chaotic. Look at the crap that you do with your family. And you consider that a family gathering. Girl, y'all got some mental illness going on. Allegedly. Because ain't no way you should have been doing none of those things. Not with your children. Play stupid game, you win stupid prizes. I'm sorry. Anyway, Nell said, I'm going to say it one more time so we're clear. And I said, clear on what? That you and your offsprings are as weird as hell? Is that what you're clear on? That's what you want to be clear on? We're clear on that. Trust me. Everybody sitting out watching this show is clear that you and your offsprings are some weirdos. Anyway, allegedly. Now, Nell said, I didn't bring you there for no interrogation. And then she said, that isn't how I move. Baby, let me tell you something. That sounds like what? Bullshit to me. That's what it sounds like. Anyway, Nell tells Destiny she should have left it. She should have left if that's how she felt. And Destiny gets up and walks away, leaving her purse on the table. I'm going to tell you what. I believe Nell that Destiny's going to come back next week. I believe when she comes back next week, she going to give Nell Detroit Destiny. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I believe it's time out for Destiny to keep giving these people a pass while they play in her face. I believe it's time out for that. I believe that the entire Fletcher family owes Destiny an apology. Do you know how that made her look? She's coming into your home as a guest and you treating her like crap. Not only make her look, but make her feel. It was inconsiderate. It was rude. It was disrespectful. And that's not how you treat your guests. But if that's how you treat your guests, and we know how your children act, I understand exactly why your children behave like they do. Where was their examples? Who taught them anything? Because if you two are the two that taught them, I understand why they're chaotic and why they cannot seem to get it together in life. Queen Script says she was reaching. I totally agree. Lance was reaching. They all was reaching, baby. Kayla was reaching. Kiki was reaching. Twan, he reached over and he kept reaching. Lance was reaching, Chris was reaching, and so was Neil. So that's the whole family. They all was reaching. Hey, showing up, Miss Wanda. How you doing? Lance needs to get that story right on how he got that bruise across his nose. Child, I don't care nothing about him or that bruise. What I want him to do is shut the F up. That's what I want to do. Loud and wrong as hell. Amen, Queen Script. All this gaslighting going on with Destiny. Every single bit of it. Hello, showing up, Miss Rhonda. When I tell you that the gaslighting that they did to Destiny was uncalled for, it was rude, it was disrespectful, it was horrible. And I hope to God that Destiny comes back and she teaches them how to treat her. And when people don't treat you how you want to be treated, you cut them off. There's a rap song that says it ain't nothing to cut that off. That's what you have to do. It ain't nothing to cut them off. Child, let me teach. I could teach you some things. Now, I'm going to cut you out. I might speak to you, but trust me, I ain't going to have no dealings with you no more. That's how you treat people that mistreat you. I think it was so unfair for Destiny to be placed in that situation with this uncouth family. And that's it. This family ain't got good sense. Period. Pooh. They don't have good sense. I want to appreciate you guys for coming down here. Let me run my mouth. Anybody want to come up? I think Did I was I able to tag this? Let me see if I can put it. If anybody want to come up and chit chat with me, talk about this episode. I did congratulate Love and Marriage Huntsville because their own network has greenlit season number 12 for 30 episodes, y'all, and I believe it's going to be great. Queen Script said, when did families have dinners to discuss their adult daughter's lover? Just weird. I totally agree with that. I'm going to tell you why I agree with that. Because my daughter, I have two daughters. If there's something I want to discuss with them about a relationship, I'm going to pull them to the side. We're not going to ever do it in front of a family or a group. And I darn sure ain't calling some other girl over here or some dude. We're going to talk one-on-one, right? I'm never going to involve anybody else in a conversation but my child. Twan is not their godson. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Twan is, there's no way you could take a grown man who's been divorced and got a teenage son, I guess is what Chris said, I think. Got a teenage son, is divorced, and he's now your godson. You don't even make sense. You sound dumb. You sound stupid. You sound illiterate. Child, that don't even make sense. None whatsoever. Makes zero sense that you would get out here and call this man your godson, and you tell your daughter say she just met him a year ago. So now he done banged her back out allegedly, and he gone on about his business. He done did what he needs to do. I've been saying this. They just met him a few years ago. Child, Kayla said she met that man a year ago. Her word. Her daddy sitting right there talking with his so-called godfather like the homie. Exactly. There you are. Let me holler at you outside. What's up with you and Kayla? She's my youngest child. You should have already had that conversation with him. You didn't have to involve Destiny over there. You could have called him down there to the barbershop and had that talk. Child, you done did too much too soon. That's it, Queen Script. I don't even know if she in love. This all may be a plot set up by Ty to come to us with bullshit. It could be. I'm telling you, this could all be a lie. This could all be a facade. It could all be fake. It definitely could. Definitely could. Again, I'm not even sure if she's in love because the way they sat next to each other, they didn't even look like they liked each other, to be honest with you. Showing up Miss Wanda speaking and living for me. Yeah, it was just crazy to me. Just crazy. So, yeah, I don't really know. But, child, I'm going to be here next week waiting on another episode. Next week, I believe we're going to see Marcel up there trying to act like he Tisha mama again. Trying to tell Tisha what she's supposed to be doing and how she's supposed to act. I wish he let Tisha act like she want to act, even if that means going upside his head. She was mad at Destiny because she is grown. I don't understand what you mean, Queen Script. Who was mad? Kayla? Kayla was mad because she was grown. Yeah, she said LOL, Lady Road. Yes. I'm Marcel trying to act like he Tisha mama or daddy. What's that? Man, one time my mama told my husband, she said, "Oh, who you be talking to?" He said something to me, and my mom was standing there. She said, "Who you talking to?" She said, Lady Road was raised. She had a mama and a dad at home. She was raised. I don't know nothing about who you talk to. Watch your mouth. Baby, it'll take my mom but one time to say that. Utmost respect for my mom. He had the utmost respect for my mom because she meant what she said. Child, this one been raised. I don't know who you think. Don't raise your voice at her. She been raised. She had a mama and a dad. She got all the whoopings she needed when she was a kid. And my mama said that, I fell out. She said, She said, you don't put your hand on her and start raising your voice at her. Baby, my mama meant what she said and said what she meant. Child, my parents didn't let nobody play with me. But gonna play on my top. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, it's still on there. Child. Anywho, you guys, I want to thank you guys for coming down here, listening to me run my mouth. And if no one's told you today that they love you, I love you. And there ain't a thing you can do about it. I will see you in the next video. I'm going to try to get, I think I'm gonna do Bell Collectors first because, child, when I get over here to these Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'm gonna act just like I acted with Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm gonna eat them up. We're gonna need some more chairs living for me because we got, all the production from Love and Marriage Huntsville. We got the whole Fletcher family. They all tied up in the chair right now, and I don't think we're gonna they can't be let go until next week. So we're gonna keep them locked up in chairs. So I'm gonna give you Bell Collectives, the last 2 episodes, and then I'm gonna give you Real Housewives of Atlanta, the last 2 episodes. Cause child, when I tell you Picky Cole, they got on my last internal and external nerve, child. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna talk about that old Tiffany over there on the Bell Collective. She done got on my nerves too. But I got a whole little I got a little twist about how I feel about the Bell and the Collectors over there. But we're going to talk about it. Let me get in here and finish up my notes for these last 2 episodes so we can get down here and finish talking about it. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.